Good day, lords and ladies, and welcome back to Scarlet Hollow, the darkest timeline. The first day for Carrie wasn't great. Lots of very disturbing things happened. There are monsters in the woods. She just watched someone hollow out the inside of their head with their own shotgun, and now we're trying to cover it up and escape town. Unfortunately, our cousin has pretty much stopped us, so now we're stuck in this creepy rundown mansion. There's someone out in the garden watching us, and a weirdo on the piano playing music, or something playing music. But let us dive back in, shall we, to Carrie's story, the darkest timeline. Yeah, she's had a breakfast, she's had an argument with her cousin, and now it's time to see what was going on outside in the garden. As your eyes wander to the garden door, you shudder, remembering the brief glimpse of something you saw from the upstairs window. It was probably just a raccoon, but the uncertainty of what you saw gnaws at you, compels you to investigate, if only to prove that it was nothing. At the very least, you don't see anything now. Investigate further. You wander further into the garden, trying to pinpoint a spot where that thing had been lurking, if indeed there had been a thing to begin with. Take it all in. The garden is peaceful, but undeniably eerie. Here, more than anywhere else, you're surrounded by ghosts of what this place used to be. Greenhouse sits in the midst of the overgrown greenery, unreachable for years of neglect. Its glass clouded and cracked, statues reach out from within the sea of weeds as if begging to be rescued. And most strikingly, behind a pair of rusted metal gates, at the very peak of the mountain, sits a graveyard. You can only make out a few of the headstones. It's the scarlet name carved deep and proud into their face. You notice what a good view someone would have of your window if they stood where you're standing right now. Check the ground. Crouch down, pushing aside the greenie to examine the soft soil. A big boot print. What looks like some kind of viscera. Your thoughts turn to the spectre from the night before. You snap a quick photo just in case it comes in handy later. Yeah, like Carrie is paranoid. She doesn't trust Stella, so she's going to keep this to herself for now. You keep it to yourself for now, no need to cause any worry just yet. You head back inside, time to figure out what to do with the rest of your day. Well, you could hold up in the mansion, you suppose, but, well, maybe you'll head down into town, see if they can pay someone to take you out of this place. You walk back to town. Is much less pleasant. Your walk back to town is much less pleasant today than it was yesterday, when you didn't yet know that the woods were full of monsters and strange men who knew your name. You stare anxiously into the darkness between the trees, searching for any signs of movement, but the woods are still, at least for now. Continue down the path. The autumn-tinged mountains sprawl for miles in every direction, now feel less like beautiful scenery and more like walls of a cage. Your phone buzzes in your pocket. The cry found at the library said she was up all night thinking about the video, added you to our group text. You glance at the woman. You don't know who she is. Maybe Stella does. Kanika. I'm only here because it's quiet in the store, or was, lol. And I'm trying to figure out what animal that could be. I don't buy into this Harbinger of Doom stuff. What Harbinger of Doom stuff, mutters Carrie as he looks at the phone. We know what animals they are. They're ditchlings, and they're Harbingers of Doom, says Stella. Sounds like they're having fun, you think coldly to yourself. Probably, Carrie goes, what the hell are ditchlings? Excuse me, what are ditchlings? Almost back to town. This carries some sort of phone back in her pocket. You make it to the town in one piece. No creatures jump out at you. No scary men block your path. The sight of other people is comforting, helping you forget the things you've witnessed, as if they happened to someone else. Avery. Oh, hey, Carrie, says the man from yesterday. Waves at you. We were just talking about you. I stopped by Selby's to pick up her new tea blend, and well... The old woman looks at you. You're the biggest thing to come to town since the coal mine. Folks have been absolutely buzzing about you, says the old woman. I am Selby. I run the tea house. I believe my daughter's my daughter's friend Stella. You went out with her last night, right? Did something happen out there? She's barely even waved when she walked by. Street smart to lie. Yeah, we just got some really good footage, that's all. And Duke had an hunting accident. Yeah, we just got some really good footage, that's all. Yeah, let's go with that. You want to admit to the hunting accident because, like, you were never there. We just got some really good footage, that's all. The problem is that Carrie knows that Stella told this woman, the daughter of this woman, so the jig might be up, but she's not going to admit it. You just got some really good footage, is all. Now that is juicy, says Avery. Tell you what, I'm on break for the next half an hour. How about you swing by the diner? Winnie can fix you some of Selby's new blend and try to calm your nerves. It's chaga and lemon balm. It does wonders for relieving stress and tension. Avery smiles, and if you want to spill the beans about what happened, I'm all ears. Anyways, it's up to you. See you around, Carrie. See you, Selby. Take care now, Avery. The man walks away. I see you're a private person, says Selby. I can respect that. Pleasant atmosphere hardens. You never know how someone might respond to hearing the truth of what you encountered last night. I'd better get back to it myself, says Selby. But before I go, a word. She leans in. Stella stopped by last night and told me about what happened in the woods. I've seen your footage. Carrie automatically grimaces. I know what the two of you went through last night. I know what you saw. Those creatures are real. My grandmother called them ditchlings, and they're a terrible omen, a signs of great suffering and destruction to come. I've told Stella and my daughter as much as I know, though I'm afraid that's not very much. How do you know all of this? I've never heard anything about creatures like them, says Carrie. When you get to be as old as I am, you hear a lot of things, says Selby. Sibley? Is it Sibley? Yeah, Sibley. Yeah, Sibley. Not everything is recorded in writing. And there aren't that many people who've seen a ditchling and lived to tell about it. Or so they say. So they're dangerous? Are they going to start attacking people? Says Carrie uneasily. I think you misunderstood me. They're not dangerous on their own. Think of them like birds flocking before a storm. They're neither a threat on their own, nor the cause of what's to come, merely a sign of things are not as they should be. What happened to Duke was unfortunate. It was an unfortunate accident, nothing more. Carrie will tense at that. She really does want to admit, they had anything to do with that accident. What kind of destruction are we talking about here? We need to leave right at that if something bad is coming. We should try and get as many people to leave as we can, right? If something bad is coming, we need to get people out of here. Leave and go where? These people's whole lives are in this town. Their homes, their histories, their families. Most of them don't have that kind of money. It would take Most of them don't have the kind of money it would take to start somewhere else. You can try to convince them, but I think you'll find it a difficult task. I think Kerry was more implying that she just wanted to, like, get out of town. What kind of destruction are we talking about? Yeah, what kind of destruction are we talking about here? If there were just one or two, I'd say maybe a bridge collapse, maybe a bad accident. But this many multiplying like they are, I can't tell you. Yeah, like, Kerry isn't going to talk about the weirdo on the road. Like, she hasn't saw what's going on in this place, or who she can trust. Thanks, that's helpful. What can we do about this? No offense, but the song sounds far-fetched. You're out of your mind. Yeah, it's like she doesn't believe the old woman, and like she doesn't. It's like, let's go with that. Are you out of your mind? I have no idea what we saw out there, but I don't believe in magic, monsters, and omens. It sounds like you and my daughter would get along swimmingly, says Sylvie. I'm so sorry to cut our conversation short, but I've got things that need to tend to. Stay safe, Carrie, and God bless. You probably have a bit of time before you need it at the library. Yeah, let's swing by the diner. You head towards the diner. The diner is a little quiet today, but the air is still heavy with tantalizing smells of breakfast. Yes, he ain't gonna warn people about the ditch things. Like, she doesn't know what the hell they are, but she's not gonna go making herself stand out. She's gonna talk to Avery. You slid into the booth across from Avery. Hey there, stranger. Or you can exchange words. Winnie sidles up, press a mug of tea in her hand. Here, you might need this, says Winnie. The answer to 29 down is oink, by the way. Avery glanced at his crossword. What? But the clue is pen sound. How is that a sound a pen makes? Wait, pen like pig pen? Are you kidding me? How was I supposed to guess that? He mutters. I don't know why you even bother with those things. They're just gonna frustrate you, says the woman. It's just something to do to fill the time, but maybe I should switch to Sudoku. When he leaves Avery contemplating the daily newspaper puzzles, returning to her seat behind the counter. So, what the hell really happened last night? You can tell me, I won't judge. Try the tea. You hesitantly take a sip of your tea. It tastes like you're drinking mold that someone tried to unsuccessfully spruce up with lemon balm. What the hell is this tea? What the hell is in this tea, you splutter? Oh right, probably should have warned you, chuckles Avery, about that. It's chagar. It's this fungus you can harvest from birch trees. It supposedly has a ton of health benefits, and it sort of tastes like it. It's a challenge, you know. What if you don't believe me about last night? I could tell you about last night, but what if you don't believe me? Says Kerry. I'm not here to judge, I'm here to listen. Yeah, Kerry isn't going to admit to anything. She's going to say, last night still feels raw. Why don't we just talk? Sort of like, last night still feels raw, and not so I can really talk about it. What if we just chat? Totally fine. What do you want to talk about? Have you lived here your whole life? Nah, I moved here from Charlotte, says Avery. Gosh, 3 years now? Maybe a little more. I've lost track. Aunt Winnie offered me a place to stay and a job, and who was I to pass on that sort of generosity? To be honest, it still feels like I'm just moved in. Practically everyone apart from the Cole folks grew up in this town, so it's like I'm the perpetual new kid. Don't get me wrong, folks here are plenty polite and friendly, but there's a sad history I'll never be a part of. Let's see. explore. Now let's go Kenai. Maybe you're more at home here than you think, says Kerry. Stella really talked up your party yesterday. I don't think she had done that. She didn't think you were really part of the town. It could be that you're getting into your own head about fitting in. Avery shrugs. Hey, you know, like, Avery. Hey, thanks. I hadn't actually thought about it like that. And that's why did you leave Charlotte? Like, why did you leave Charlotte, if you don't mind me asking? As you sort of asked as you noticed that his aunt glances up at you from her book. It's cool. I was having some education disputes with my folks. They had thoughts on how my life was supposed to go, and I had other plans. It wasn't great, especially since I was still stuck under their roof. When my aunt heard about it, she offered me a job and a place to stay, and the rest is history. Do you regret moving here? Carrie inquires. I didn't think I have the choice to have second thoughts. I'm not going anywhere without Auntie Winnie, and there's no way she's leaving this place. Yeah. You gotta head out. Like, you're not gonna tell Avery what happened. Alright, I should probably head out, says Carrie as she stands up. Totally get that. My shift's about to start anyways, so perfect timing. Avery slips out of the booth, giving a friendly half-wave before disappearing into the back. You leave the diner ready to continue your day. Let's swing by the general store, maybe we can buy some supplies or something. A young man sits at the table by the register, too preoccupied with his phone to care that you stepped in. Let's go with... Yes, he's not going to tell people there's monsters in the woods. If I want to buy chips or something, do I talk to you or... You, Kerry inquires. The boy sighs. Or the teenager sighs. I guess, yeah. Kanika decided to skip work today, so of course, whatever plans I had didn't matter. Just take the chips, I don't care. Wouldn't that be stealing? Street smart. Hell yeah, thanks for looking out. Let's do that one. Oh yeah, thanks for looking out. You grab a bag of salt and vinegar chips from the nearby shelf. It will sustain you in the coming days. Right on, says the guy as he just glances at his phone. What are you doing on your phone, you say, as you shove the crisps into your bag? Games. You probably haven't heard of them. Yeah, he isn't going to introduce himself. Like, Kerry isn't going to introduce herself. He's not going to say, oh, there's monsters in the woods, because everybody will think he's all crazy. Yeah, see ya. The young man doesn't respond as you turn and leave the general store. Time to head to the library. You enter the former town hall. Yeah, it's like, this is the thing about this game that I love. Just so to step back from gameplay for a second. It's all the little contexts. Like, you see that picture up on the top left-hand corner of the screen with the man being ran out of town on a rail. That is... It's all like little lore bits. It's all very interesting. What once must have been a stately foyer has since been converted into rows of cells. Meeting rooms and offices long ago gave way to assorted reference collections and reading areas. Oh hey, you made it. Settle in with Stella and Kanika. Shush Stella and point at the books before heading over to the table. Yeah, like, Kerry doesn't care about library etiquette. You head over to Stella and Kanika's table and settle in. Hey, it's nice to meet in person. I'm Kanika, says the other woman. Stella filled me in about last night. Stella nods. You made it. Glad you could join us. You look tired, says Kanika. Snits on the guy in the general store. Nope, that's not one. That's honor among... Well, no, it's not honor amongst thieves, but if you snit on someone will snit on you. Hell yeah, the estate isn't the greatest place to get a good 8 hours. It's hard to fall asleep last night, of all things considering. I'll sleep when I'm dead. Pretty amped up, but never actually done a Scooby-Doo. Kanika, you can't tell someone looks tired yet. I'm asleep when I'm dead. Let's see. Like, it was hard to fall asleep with all things considered. All things considered. Yeah, let's go with that. Yeah, it was pretty hard to fall asleep last night, all things considered, says Kerry. I can't say I got a wink myself, says Stella. Yeah, same, says Kinika. Anyways, I guess we should get started. Before you dig in, you remember the boot print you found in the garden. Yeah, like, she's not, like, Kerry isn't going to sew the boot print. Like, if this is someone going to come for her, she's going to sort of, like, take care of it. Plus, the fact is that she doesn't know Kinika, and, like, she doesn't really trust Stella, so she's going to keep it to herself. It was probably nothing. No need to share what you found with the rest of the class, at least not yet. A stranger walks over wearing what looks like to be some kind of employee badge. Hey there, strangers. And literal stranger, says the man. You sort of look at him. Hey, Oscar, says Stella. This is Kerry, you know, Tabby's cousin. Oh, says Oscar. I should have known you were a Scarlet. You look so much like Vivian. Not that I knew her very well. I was still a little kid when she left. But that Scarlet resemblance, it's strong. He stammers. Oh, I'm Oscar Gutterizer, Chief Librarian and only Librarian. Oscar's amazing, says Stella. He practically built this library from scratch. Yeah, I'm a little jealous of what the kids around here get to grow up with. We didn't know how good they don't know how good they have it. Back when I was in elementary school, all the library had was a couple of shelves of boring books donated by old people. Yeah, you're all too kind, says Oscar. But speaking of kids, have either of you seen Rosalina around town? I don't want to be a helicopter dad, but she hasn't been answering my texts, and I want to make sure that she isn't getting into trouble out there. He chuckles with a serious look on his face. You know the crowd she hangs around with. Stella just rolls her eyes. They're good kids at heart. I'm sure they're just up at the old Maxwell place doing teen stuff. I went up there plenty of times in my day, but I'll be sure to keep my eyes peeled. Let's see. What's the old Maxwell place? Yeah. What's the old Maxwell place? Inquires Kerry. It's this great old abandoned spot that we used to hang out there when we were teens, says Stella. I can't believe I used to be so reckless. The floors there were like Swiss cheese. I should really have a talk with Rosalina when she gets home, mutters Oscar. Kids are smarter than you think. She can take care of herself. I don't like the thought of teens up in the woods, getting up to mischief, ditch things in the woods. I'm sure she's fine. Let's go to street smarts. Kids are smarter than you think. She can take care of herself, mutters Kerry. You might not want to let her run off like that anymore, though. It's not as safe as it usually is around here, says Kinika. Is that so? Says Oscar uneasily. Kinika's right. There's some weird stuff going on out there in the woods. That's actually why we came in today, says Stella. Have you ever heard of creatures called ditchlings? They're a type of cryptid that shows up around places on the brink of disaster. They kind of look like if the Pillsbury Doughboy was creepypasta. Kinika's mum told us about them last night after seeing some of the footage we got in the woods. Like, probably Kerry is like staring wide-eyed at Stella, like, so much for keeping stuff secret. Ditchlings, mutters Oscar. Doesn't ring a bell. Dang, worth a shot, mutters Stella. Okay, if you were trying to predict a horrible disaster that might befall our town, where would you start looking? Oscar takes on a serious face. Well, they say history repeats itself, so I'd probably try and figure out what sorts of disasters this region typically falls prey to. Should I be worried about something? He looks at the group. I don't know yet, says Stella. I'll be right back. Gotta go nab some more books. She vanishes between the cells. Behave while I'm gone, Gretchen, her voice carries back. You don't have to worry about her, Stella. You're such a good dog, aren't you, Gretchen? Here, have a biscuit, old girl, he says as he pulls a dog treat out of his pocket. Gretchen inhales the soft biscuit. Drool leaks from the corner of her toothless mouth as he swallows it whole. I'm pretty sure Stella's barking up the wrong tree, Oscar. I don't think you have anything to worry about. I don't think you have to worry about any horrible calamity befalling the town. But she's right about the weird stuff. There's definitely something unusual going on out in the woods. Man's already dead. It's nothing we can't get to the bottom of. Whatever's out in the woods, it's been brutalizing local wildlife. Yeah, let's go if I don't believe in supernatural stuff, but the woods aren't safe. I don't believe in this supernatural stuff, but the woods aren't safe. I'm gonna go and try. I'm gonna try call Rosalina again, mutters Oscar. I'm sure she's fine, really, says Kanika. Rosalina's a smart kid. She knows better than to go around getting into trouble, and we'll make sure to keep our eyes peeled. Thanks, Kanika. And Kerry, if you see a 13-year-old girl with a black braid and glasses, would you let her know her dad is worried about her? Kerry really doesn't care. Like, she doesn't believe in all this weird supernatural stuff going on. Even like she's seen the stuff, she doesn't know what the hell those things are. Like, but it's like all this magic and supernatural stuff she doesn't believe in, and she's not going to get saddled babysitting some like snot-nosed brat when she's trying to get out of town. Oscar anxiously wanders off, phone in hand. Gotham just grabbed a whole mess of local history books. Stella sets a massive pile of books on the table and pulls up a chair. All right. Got our stacks, got our source documents, let's get this research party started. It's going to be so much fun. This is going to go so much faster with two of you here to help out. I'll be doing most of my research online. You'll never know what kind of weird bias folks writing these books might have. Whatever you find online might be biased too, you know, says Stella. Which is why we'll cross-reference things. Yeah, you're right. It's good to get the cast. Sorry. Yeah, you're right. It's good to cast a wide net. Guess the books are up to me and Kerry. Reading awaits. Let's see. Yeah, Kerry doesn't. She's not here to basically help solve this mystery. She just wants to get out of town. So let's go. Reading is for suckers. Let Kinika and Stella do the work for you. Reading is for suckers. You pick one up and lazily flip through it, but really, you just hang around while Stella and Kinika do the work for you. Alright, if we're going with what Kinika's mum told us last night, I think we can rule out any natural disasters as what brought the ditchlings here, says Stella. But not nuclear incidences. But not nuclear incidences. Looks like our state has a history with those. What about you all? Find anything? She glanced at the two, Kerry and Kinika. Just in time for a cat to appear, but before you can respond, a handsome black cat leaps onto the table. Stella quickly slams her book shut. Oh, hey, Pixel. Kinika, you might want to close your book. He loves to rip up any paper he can find. Don't worry, little guy. I don't. So Stella just chuckles. She pulls something out of her pocket. Don't worry, little guy. I didn't forget your treats. Pixel immediately goes to town on Stella's treats. Sorry, says Oscar as he comes wandering over. If Pixel's bothering you all, hopefully he hasn't gobbled up any of our books. He can't stand the thought that people might pay attention to anything that isn't him. Yeah, it's like, why do you let a paper shredder freely wander a library? Why do you let a paper shredder freely wander a library, you inquire? Have you seen this little guy's face? How could I say no to that? You decide to leave Pixel be. The cat curls up on the table, fast asleep. Alright, I'd better get back to selfing. Let me know if you all need anything. Rightio. let's see what options we have. Any luck? Yes. We're not going to mention really terrifying miner. We're not going to mention that thing, that weirdo. So let's go with any luck with Rosalina. Have you had any luck with Rosalina? Says you say. Like Kerry says. Not yet. I knew a teen would be a handful, but I didn't think it would happen overnight. I'll probably head out once you're all done and check in on her usual haunts. What was, Stella, what was that you were saying about a nuclear incident? Let's go with that one. Stella, what was that you were saying about a nuclear incident? You were talking about that Goldsboro thing, right? Says Kanika. Yeah, apparently in the 60s a B-52 carrying a live warhead broke up midair and dropped a couple of bombs. Fascinating, actually, interrupts Oscar. A fascinating bit of history there. The first of the two bombs landed upright after its parachute got caught in a tree. Thankfully, it didn't go off. At the time, the government claimed that the bomb was unarmed, but it later came out that it was the only thing preventing a detonation was a single electrical switch which failed to trigger on descent. Stella glances around, and 60 years later, the second bomb still hasn't been recovered. Right. Its conventional explosives disintegrated in midair, but most of the nuclear material was made unrecoverable by flooding. If I remember correctly, they just buried it and sealed it up. I don't think disarming nuclear bombs is part of our skill set, so the nuke made the ditchlings. If the bomb is somewhere else, why would there be so many ditchlings here? That's like Carrie's not a fool, but she's going to say that. If the bomb is somewhere else, why would there be so many ditchlings here in Scarlet Hollow? Yeah, says Kanika. Goldsboro is almost 400 miles from here. Not that we should be looking too hard at disaster angle. Whatever these creatures are, they're biological. Look, you never know with radiations, chuckles Stella. We actually know quite a bit, counters Kanika. It just melts you, it doesn't make monsters. And 60-year-old bomb isn't going to explode on its own hundreds of miles away and kill us here. Especially considering that the bomb isn't going to blow up, they just said that it disintegrated, so you'd only get radiation poisoning. Which would basically, in like 60 years, radiation over a 60-year period, if it was from a nuclear warhead, you would have seen effects by now. Like, you would have seen lots of effects by now. It wouldn't have been something that's developed now unless it's gotten into the water supply, but that would have been alerted people across a region, not just in Scarlet Hollow. You never know, there could always be a whole underground society of bomb-worshipping mutants just waiting to blow it up, says Stella. That's a Futurama that's both a Futurama reference and isn't it like Planet of the Apes that has a cult, that one of the Planet of the Apes films that's a cult that worships a nuclear bomb? I've missed this, chuckles Kanika. Yeah, she's not going to mention the miner. So let's go with, do you think there's a cult here? You lean in quietly whisper to Stella and Kanika. Do you guys think that there's like a cult here? Maybe the ditch things are actually nudists doing some sort of weird ritual. Let's go, maybe the ditchlings were like summoned. Let's go with that. Maybe the ditchlings were like summoned as part of a ritual or something like that, mutters Kerry. Seems unlikely, says Kanika. And then we are going to just do what Kerry always does in these situations. Lie her teeth off. I'd love to hear about what you guys learned before I send my own research. Okay, says Kanika. So let's see. If there was the mine collapse in 1918, maybe the ditchlings are here to warn about something like that happening again. It might not be a terrible place to start, says Stella. Okay, good, says Kanika. All this talk of mines reminds me though. There has been this real unsettling miner who's been coming around my mum's tea shop lately. His name is Wayne, and there's something wrong with him, like viscerally wrong. Like, I don't know what that word means. Like, visually wrong. It sounds like Kanika might be talking about the miner you ran into on your way back to the estate last night. Yeah, like, probably at that point. Yeah, this is the thing. Kerry admits running into the miner. No, I'm gonna keep. Like, Kerry's gonna keep it to herself. Like, she doesn't know this woman. Like, she doesn't trust her. You keep what happened on your walk home to yourself. I don't know if that's much of a connection, but if we're headed to the mines, you might as well look into him, says Kanika. Do we have to? This seems like a lot of work. Maybe Tabitha can help us out. Finally, an opportunity I've been looking for to get to know Tabitha. I'm sure Tabitha's going to love that we're snooping around. Alright, let's try and stay under the radar. Awesome, let's roll. Like, yeah, like, Kerry just wants to get out of town. Like, do we have to? It seems like a lot of work. Let's go with that. Do we have to? It seems like a lot of work. We can make it quick, says Stella. Just a question, a few miners, and we're done, and be done with it. The fate of the town might be resting on our shoulders after all. Okay, chuckles Kanika. I mean, I'm sure that second part isn't true, but we got to get to the bottom of whatever's going on. The only problem is Tabitha. She's not exactly going to be thrilled to see us snooping around the mines. We can be sneaky, says Stella. I'll make sure to be a good lookout. She'll never even know we were there. Look at us going out on a caper together. I've missed this, she says. I missed it too, admits Kanika. I mean, sure, it's not under the best circumstances, but I've been so wrapped up in running the store I didn't realise how much I've missed being able to hang out with you. Though there is something missing, she admits. They say at the same time, Reese. I really miss that dude, says Kanika. I can't believe how long it's been since we've seen each other. Have you seen him lately? Nope, admits Stella. I tried to plan stuff, but he's been too sick. I didn't realise it was getting so bad, says Kanika. That poor guy. You know, we could just pop over and surprise him, suggests Stella. He seems excited to meet Carrie. Maybe we'll finally get him to leave his little cave. Kanika nods. Hell yeah, let's do it. Alright, let's roll out, says Stella. See you, Oscar. We'll let you know if we run into Rosalina. Thanks, guys, says the librarian. I'll keep you all posted. So you put the books away and leave. Reese's home stands at the edge of the forest wall, an isolated buffer cushioning the rest of the town from an unending wilderness. Reese, it's Stella, I brought some buddies too. The door opens up and a sharp-faced woman looks out. Shush, not so loud, he's still sleeping. Can I help you with something? The woman in the doorway stares directly into your eyes. You can practically feel her simmering irritation washing over you. Hi, Dr. Kelly. You're wondering if it was okay if Reese could come hang out. Nothing strenuous, we promise, says Stella. I'm not going to wake him up. If he's sleeping, he probably needs it, says Dr. Kelly. Whatever you two have planned, it's probably beyond what he can manage right now, anyways. Oh no, poor Reese, says Kanika. It's just been so long since either of us have gotten a chance to hang out with him. I'm sure he and Kelly would get along super well too. Yeah, like, it's just got a street lie, like Kerry just always just like street lies to get out of situations. Stella's right. We're just going for a light walk, and I've heard such great things about your son. I'm only in town for a few more days, and it'd be a shame if I didn't get a chance to meet him. Dr. Kelly looks you up and down and sighs. All right, she mutters. You win. He usually feels his best around mid-afternoon. Why don't you come over tomorrow? We can have some supper, and you all can hang out for a bit. I don't promise that he'll be perky, but I'm sure it will brighten his spirits to see you two again. I'm sure he'll be happy to meet you too, Kerry, he mutters. That'd be great, says Stella as he smiles. I can bring a side dish, maybe deviled eggs. Does he still eat those? No, eggs are a little much for him. They don't settle well. You can leave the cooking to me. I know what he can handle. Oh, okay, mutters Stella. I'll bring soda then. That's not... The woman sort of sighs. Okay, yes, fine, you can bring soda. Nothing with caffeine. Ginger ale, preferably. Oh, and leave the dog at home, mutters the doctor. She might cheer him up, you know. They have those therapy dogs in hospital. But she's cut off. No dogs, says Dr. Kelly. Thanks so much, Dr. Kelly. We'll stop bothering you now. See you later, says Kanika uneasily. Dr. Kelly nods in acknowledgement and quickly shuts the door. The sound of several locks clicking into place can be heard from within. God, that woman makes me so nervous, mutters Kanika. I remember she used to be so nice and carefree when we were kids, mutters Stella. She always had the best stickers when we had to go for our shots. Maybe she's just stressed about Reese. Kanika just chuckles, or maybe she's just nice to kids. Either way, I guess it's just the three of us. You gonna drive? Says Stella. Yeah, sorry, I don't like the thought of going up there without the van. Cool, I'll take my shortcut then. It shouldn't take long for me to get there. You're welcome to tag along, Kerry. Don't worry, I won't be offended if you'd rather ride with Kanika. I'm sure you're probably sick of the woods. Either way works for me, mutters the other woman. Now, why don't you drive up with... Let's go that one. Why not just drive up with Kanika? Ain't the mines a bit of a ways off, you say? Don't worry about it, Kerry. There's a lot of junk in the back of my van. It gets a little tight with more than two people. Yeah, but fine. Kerry just shrugs. She doesn't really care. I'll ride with you, Kanika. See you at the mines. Kanika is a careful driver, but her old van still bumps around on the mountain roads. Thanks for indulging us on this little diversion. Reese's mum can be a lot, but I'm glad we have solid plans for tomorrow, says Kanika. Stella and I haven't really seen much of him the past few years. That sort of isolation can't be good for his health, no matter what his mum says. Let's go Key9 Street Smart. Stella's parents died in a car crash. Well, I think they actually, now that we think about it, she told us when we were on the mountain, didn't we? She mentioned that her parents died in a car crash. Stella's parents died in a car crash, didn't they? How'd you figure that one out? She told me her parents had died last night. It was pretty easy to put the rest together with how uncomfortable asking her about cars made her, and how quick you were to jump in and change the subject. Damn, that's pretty impressive. Not a lot gets past you, huh? She was in the car too, just some cuts and bruises, but she doesn't like cars and tries her best to stay away from them. I don't think she's ever going to actually leave this town. God, that's terrible. Is she doing alright? Has she seen someone? Like a therapist? Yeah, let's go with that. Has she seen someone like a therapist? Good luck finding a therapist within walking distance of Scarlet Hollow, replies Kanika. I don't think that's something Stella would go for anyway. She likes to solve her own problems. So what's actually going on with Reese? Let's go with that. So what's actually going on with Reese? Good question, says Kanika. I wish I knew. His mum's been saying he's sick for years, and it's not like she's wrong about it. Sorry, I'll rephrase that. Good question. I wish I knew. His mum's been saying he's sick for years, and it's not like she's wrong about it. She questions openly. He's been a wreck the few times I've seen him. That's rough. Says Kerry. She doesn't really care. Yep. Was the guy at the general store your brother? Let's go with that one. I swung by the general store this morning. Was the guy there your brother? Kerry inquires. Miles, yeah. He didn't do anything weird, did he? He tried to make me steal some chips. He did such a good job, a model employee. Let's go with that. Yeah, that's a lie. He did such a good job, model employee. Really? That's surprising to hear. I'm sorry I jumped to conclusions. I guess he's usually difficult about responsibility. Sometimes it feels like I can't trust him to do anything without leaving a mess for me to clean up. Don't get me wrong, he's family and I love the guy, but he sure doesn't make it easy, mutters Kanika. Let's see, what other options we have. Why do you still live at a town's a dead end? Let's do that. Why do you still live here? This town's a dead end. Okay, that's a little rude, mutters Kanika. But to answer your question, yeah, this wasn't the plan, and it still isn't. I was actually a couple of years into vet school, top of my class, might I add, when my dad died. My mum wasn't up to running the store, and you've met Miles. I only wanted to take a semester off, help them get back on their feet, but it's been a year and change now. It's not just about my family too. The general store, that's the general store. If it winds up going under, it's hard to imagine the whole town. It's not hard to imagine the whole town collapsing with it. Maybe I'll get to go back next semester. Vet school. Let's go with. I'd say welcome to the Dead Dad's Club, but I don't actually know if my dad is dead. Let's go with that one. I'd say welcome to the Dead Dad's Club, but I don't actually know if my dad is dead. You're funny, mutters Kanika. Vet school, just like Stella's mum. Vet school, just like Stella's mum, you say? You know, I never really thought of it that way, but yeah, I guess you're right. You'd be a great vet. Chase your dreams, I'm sure they'll be okay without you. You shouldn't wait on other people's permission to live your life. Yeah, let's go with that one. It sounds like something Carrie would say. You shouldn't wait on other people for permission to live your life, you say. A little harsh, but I guess you're not wrong. I suppose it's hard to think about what I want with other people relying on me like this. I appreciate the vote of confidence. Not a lot of people here share your perspective. Let's go with, can you please drive me out of town? Like, right, let's go with that. Can you please drive me out of town? Begs Carrie, like right now, we could both just leave and go somewhere far away from here. Neither of us needing to worry about ditchlings or cataclysmic events. Whoa. There's no way I'm crossing Tabitha like that, says Kanika. The fact that she's brought you here is a big deal. She doesn't see people. She doesn't have guests. You being here has got to mean something to her. And if she found out I was the one who drove you out of town, which she would, there's no telling what might happen. The Scarlets still hold a lot of sway in this town, even if your cousin's all that's left of them. And hey, I don't think there's a lot to worry about yet. The ditchlings are just weird animals, right? If we just stay out of the woods, I'm sure we'll be fine. Carrie sort of looks around. Do you have any other theories of what's going on? Aside from what we've talked about in the library? I don't know. I don't think there's enough information yet to support any strong conclusions, admits the woman. But I'd been wondering if what the two of you saw maybe was some sort of mutated animal, like a strain of hairless monkey or raccoons or something. Do you know about Morgan Island? It's off the coast of South Carolina, and there's a whole population of rhesus monkeys infected with herpes, like 4,000 of them. Maybe the ditchlings are some kind of Appalachia research monkeys. Which sounds ridiculous now that I said it out loud. Forget I said anything. No, I totally buy that those things were not monkeys. What if they were aliens? Yeah, like you saw what that thing was. It was not a monkey. Those were not monkeys. I saw them with my own eyes, and they were way too messed up to be anything like monkeys. I mean, that doesn't rule out lab monkeys, right? Could be that whatever made them hairless also caused weird swellings and altered their proportions. But like I said, we don't have anywhere near enough information. You and Kanika sit in comfortable silence for the last few minutes of the ride. As we arrive at the mine, and this is where we're going to leave it, lords and ladies, I hope you've enjoyed this part of Scarlet Hollow, the Darkest Timeline. Things are getting pretty grim, like Kerry is just still trying to sort of cover up the fact that they saw the guy blow his head off, though Stella seems to be, for all intents and purposes, telling everyone about it. And yeah, the weirdness continues, and I shall see you all again next time. Goodbye.